Hey everybody, this is Zach Murray and this is my case study on the missing Booster Club funds. Just a summary of what's going on. Mr. Stevens is a well-liked, well-respected principal. He has a great rapport with the parents of his students and the community. A student had a cheer performance that led her to going on a more advanced trip, and after being approached to help pay for her trip, Mr. Stevens had to inform the parent that the funds needed to be used for the majority of students, not just one. And then an athletic event occurred, and some tickets were reported torn. A parent said that they paid with the $50 bill, and that $50 bill was not in the change box or bag. And so we're trying to figure out how this could have happened and what we can do differently in the future. What do I know? We know Mr. Stevens is well liked, works well with the PTA and his staff. We know that parents volunteer at these events. And it does not appear that there's division of duties at the game, which, as we've learned in this class, is extremely important. Um, in the past, the PTA has been reliable. The concession money balanced with the inventory, so there didn't seem to be anything going on there. And the ticket money balanced minus the reportedly torn tickets and the $50 bill that was said to be used was no longer there. What do we want to know? Is there policy? Is there a school or district policy regarding these kinds of things? What should our next step be? Obviously, what happened to the $50? There's no evidence to point the finger at anybody yet, so just really what happened in general. How many people were in charge of the gate and the money, like who was doing what. And I would like to know why money wasn't counted when Mr. Stevens got the money from the PTA. I think they should be counting it together so they can narrow down what could have happened immediately rather than the next day. And then I think we could, if we wanted to, ask around to see if Lucy's trip had been paid for yet. That might kind of narrow this down a little bit, although I don't think it's a good thing to start pointing fingers right now. Identifying the problem. The money turned in didn't match the amount that should have included the torn tickets, and then the $50 bill missing. Why and how did this happen is the main problem here. Obviously, if we knew who did it, that would be a big problem, but a bigger problem, in my opinion, is how this could have happened. And then we need to figure out how we can fix it in the future. So for my plan of action, I thought we should report the missing money, maybe go over the handbook, like I said, and figure out if there's policy regarding these kinds of things. Like I said, I don't want to point fingers at anybody. I mean, there seems to be a logical suspect to have taken the money, but there's zero evidence that would point our finger at any one person. So I thought addressing the PTA in general, or even the PTA staff that worked that night, just to let them know of the issue, and that would possibly get them thinking like, oh, they know what's going on, it might stop it. Just basically to let them know that we know what's going on, so this hopefully doesn't happen again. Also, I'd like to then redo some training on safeguards and procedures for handling tickets and money so that things don't get mishandled. Obviously, you're going to start implementing a division of duties with the dealing with money. You know, one person's doing the tickets, one person's doing the money. Everybody balances up at the end. That way nobody's tinkering with anything that they don't need to be. I think it is also very important to have whoever turns in money when they get done with it to the principal, that the principal, the security guard, whoever does the escorting, and the parent who took the money count the money together, and that way they can narrow it down. I think that's important, so you can rule out anything that happened between the time they turned it in and the time you counted. And then I thought it might be kind of a good idea to have like a member of our staff and a parent working at these stations, at the gate or concessions. That way, we've got two people from different sides of the spectrum that hopefully are both focused on helping our students. So I think if we kind of had one of each working, that it would be really hard to manipulate the system for either one of them. And then I thought it would be a nice gesture, at least since we couldn't use the funds to help Lucy, to be the middleman or something to help her get a sponsorship for her trip. I think that would build some camaraderie between school and community. It would, I think, let students know that extracurricular activities are great to go after, and maybe we can kind of get a thing going where businesses are helping out when our students are successful in these. Resolving the issues, or how did we resolve the issues? I think the division of duties is huge to eliminate the fund mishandling. One takes tickets, one balances the money, then at the very end you guys count it together and figure out how much money you should have, how much money we do have. And then I think our implementation of, mixing it up between school staff members that volunteer and parents that volunteer, that would allow a collaborative effort to help our students get the best resources, while also giving staff members some leadership experience, being in charge of stuff, which is good for their careers as well. And I think this is opening the door for outstanding students to get these sponsorships as well, helping to create the relationship between schools, parents, community, trying to get everybody on the same page, and that is putting our students first. Some more things that this could do, if we reported the missing money, maybe that would help us to know if we need to start auditing if this is happening more than once. Hopefully we can get it locked down to start doing things the right way. Meeting with the PTA, in my opinion, would just inform the PTA that we know something's going on, and hopefully if someone took the money, that person will start thinking that's not such a good idea, knowing that people are onto it. Counting the money together with the workers who turn the money in, like I've said, just narrows down what could have happened immediately rather than that dead space between turn-in time and then whenever Mr. Stevens gets a chance to count. And then, obviously, training will educate our workers and the PTA the appropriate way to handle funds. What was I thinking and valuing during this? The whole time, as much as I wanted to be able to point my finger at somebody and say, you took the money, there's really no evidence to do that. And in reality, it's a small amount of money this one time. The bigger issue is the safeguards we have in place that we need to get locked down so this doesn't continue to happen. I thought the whole time Mr. Stevens is in a rough spot, being the only administrator. He can't do everything, so we have to have trustworthy people in place to help him with these duties. And like I said, I don't think there was enough safeguards in place to be fully efficient handling these funds, like the separation or division of duties. I thought was important and something that wasn't really emphasized. Also, in regards to Lucy, I feel bad that she can't get her trip paid for by the school, but I think it's important that Mr. Stevens made the decision that the funds need to benefit everybody rather than just one student. So that's why I tried to brainstorm ideas to help get her trip paid for in other ways. And like I said, I just kept thinking that staff and PTA working together just could only build the relationship between school and parents, with ultimately students' best interest in mind. Unresolved issues, what happened with the money, still don't know. Why or how did it happen? Is this the first time it's happened, or is it happening in other places, not necessarily just athletic events? And then hopefully we did, but did we help Lucy get a sponsorship and get her trip paid for? Because I'd hate to see her not go because of the lack of funds. With regards to Standard 8, how we promoted effective and efficient management of our school or district. I think the training to teach the members of PTA and our staff about the processes or safeguards handling money is showing good management. And then obviously the implementation of them, making sure that they're being used appropriately, the funds are being used appropriately, not just given wherever. And I think it was important that we're maintaining the strong relationship between school and community, again, with students first in mind. How did we promote the social learning of every student? Mr. Stevens has these strong relationships with students, and if he's going out of his way to, even help get sponsorships, I think that's a huge step. Providing all the opportunities for the extracurricular activities, which help make students more well-rounded and put them in different situations around each other. And then the PTA and the school being managed effectively and working hard to give students resources they need is a great thing about this school as well. And then lastly, the academic learning. All the positive relationships that are being built lead to a more comfortable learning environment. Knowing that you have support from staff and PTA as a student, and knowing that you're going to get resources you need is huge for students to feel comfortable learning as well. And the funds, knowing that they're being put in the right place, students should feel comfortable with that. Also, knowing that they're going to get the best learning experience that they can. So that is my case study, and look forward to hearing from you guys.